All right, everybody, welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs.
And I'm David Wildingen.
And I'm still stunned, David. We're talking Mizzou basketball after going down to Starkville and just flat out housing Mississippi State. Before we get into that, please, guys, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and on Spotify. David, what do you think?
Uh, yeah, it was interesting. They started out going up, what was it, 10-2, and
10
then
to 2.
Mississippi State went on a 10-0 run, and I believe it was Cruz who came and hit his first three in a long time. Actually, that got us going, and then we were off to the races after that. Um, Caleb Grill with what, six or seven threes today?
6.
Six, yeah. Uh, the team all together just caught fire from three today. Uh, didn't do too much inside, but that's because the three was falling. They didn't have to drive as much. There's a lot of interior driving, kicking out going on today because it was working. There was no need to change it.
You knock down 15 threes, a lot of things are going to work themselves out.
Right.
So Mizzou with a 27-point win, 88-61 over the Bulldogs. All alone in third place as we're filming this. See what happens the rest of the day. Um, we've talked a lot about Missouri, David, with how's the resume look? Let's getting this resume together and even after the first couple games of the conference schedule, it was can they piece together the resume to make the tournament? That had been shifting, and now the shift is done. All right.
Now you're
Let's look at what you want for a resume. You want a big win against the highest ranked team. Well, they beat Kansas when they were number one. We'll see what the committee thinks of KU at the end, but they were number one at the time. Okay, that's not enough. You need to win on the road. Okay, Florida. What else? You play against a top 15 caliber team and blow them out.
and you're forgetting as well. Mixed in there is a top 16 team with Ole Miss that we beat at home too.
Well, what I'm talking about is now you've got a variety. You got a home big win, you got a road big win, and now you've got a blowout, which was on the road as well. And yeah, now the sheer number, Missouri 4-4 in quad one games. So now the one blemish you could say on Missouri's resume, well, they beat all these blood donors and had such weak non-con, but now when they're playing better teams, look at the Q1 record, and it wasn't as strong. Well, now they're 500. All their losses still Q1, but they've got as many wins.
And
This
it's worth
resume right now does not have any holes on it.
yeah, it's worth mentioning they don't have any quad four or three losses. They're
Well, all their
non
losses are quad one.
yeah, their non-conference loss at the beginning of the season, which everybody was like, "Here we go," was that Memphis game on the road. Well, Memphis is a top 20 team now too.
Yep. And Illinois up and down. Remember, Caleb Grill missed that game. Missouri has Caleb Grill, this kind of Caleb Grill against Illinois. They win going away. So let's not forget that. Is the SEC championship really in play? I don't know. Is Auburn going to lose three times? I'm assuming the tiebreaker's got to be head to head, right? Auburn
Right.
would have to lose three games, and Missouri has to win out. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But come on, it's February 1st, and we're talking about Missouri's chances to win the SEC.
Well,
Now, can
right
they win
now,
the SEC tournament? Short answer, yes.
and right now they're positioning themselves well because they took the sole third place spot as of right now today,
Yep.
um, and they can go into Tennessee if they win that game, and then they have A&M at home. You're talking the hardest stretch of basketball Mizzou had in this conference, were these like four games. If they come out with two or even all winning all three of these games, Like, look out.
Look out.
Well, yeah, I could see potentially even taking the second spot and hoping that Auburn slips up twice or three times and make this thing a race to the end.
Well, you mentioned this stretch. I think most people looked at the home game against Ole Miss last week as yes, Ole Miss is pretty good, but it's a home game. Not a must win by any stretch, but you should help yourself and go ahead and win that. It was generally thought in my mind that this game, Mississippi State at Tennessee and then home for A&M was kind of a three-game stretch that was going to really tell the tale this season. If you lost all three, it kind of took away momentum, and now there was a little bit of pressure to get this first win out of this three-game stretch. The other two, the pressure of, oh gosh, we don't want to have a three-game skid and lose all our momentum, all that pressure is off. Maybe it's replaced with pressure of playing for a bye in the SEC tournament, but come on, the the fear type of pressure is gone. So there's a hint of playing with house money for these two games, you know?
Well, and the other interesting thing is Tennessee knocked off Florida. They were
I
on a
blasted them.
they were on like a 4 game skid as well. Like three of their last four they were losing. So while we're going to their place, I think it's a good thing they beat Florida today because they got that monkey off their back and they're not really going to be, as you would like to call, like a wounded animal, just
Yeah,
doing whatever they can now because they got that win. So not saying they're going to relax. It's definitely going to be a hard game on the road, but now you're not fighting the fact that they're on this 4 game losing streak or anything as well, and they're desperate for a win. So that might play into Mizzou's favor as well. And being honest, if Grill comes out shooting like he does, really the last couple of games, it's just going to be hard to stop Mizzou.
yeah. And Tennessee kind of reminds me of back prime Tony Bennett era at Virginia. Really good defense, really good fundamentally. It was going to be an ugly game, not that much fun to watch. If you get 65, you win. That is not a style of basketball that you can beat Missouri with easily because they throw guy after guy after guy after you. And maybe today Caleb Grill just goes full Steph Curry and is hitting logo threes. Maybe the next game, Tamar Bates drops 25, or Mark Mitchell just gets 25 points at the free throw line. There's
Well,
different ways Missouri can beat you, and
and look
that
look
is
at
what makes Tennessee's style very hard against Missouri.
look at today for example. Cruz got a, a season high in points today, as well as
Yep.
Gray.
Josh Gray, 10
Yeah,
and 11.
yeah, he had himself an offensive game. Like you, any type of points out of Gray is a icing on the cake. But
Yeah.
what he turned in today was phenomenal. He had a couple of Euro step type drives to the basket right down the middle. Haven't seen that out of him all year. So
No.
and
And
and, and on top of all this, you had a struggling Anthony Robinson. So if he can get
yeah.
himself right and get himself going, look out. This team still has not played their best basketball. They had a couple of stretches in the game today where they gave up 10-0 runs. If they can put that to a minimum, if they can stop these big runs and continue to play at defense at the high level that they play at, they're going to be a hard one to keep up with if they keep shooting the ball the way they're doing.
Well, and let's talk about this Tennessee matchup. I was just pulling up. You may see me looking at my laptop. I was pulling up details about Zakai Ziegler for Tennessee. His injury. He did not play against Florida with a knee injury. He hurt his knee against Kentucky, and perhaps some gamesmanship with Rick Barnes saying not a concern. It looks like he'll be all right. This, that, and the other. And then he just did not play against the Gators. What's his status? If he can't go against Missouri, there's one of your point guard, one of your best defenders. That hurts. It didn't against Florida, of course, but You like Missouri's chances against Tennessee all the more. So that one, very, very interesting. The matchup is a challenging one for Tennessee, even though they are very good, and the game's in Knoxville. So, David, right now, what's your ceiling for this team, both in an SEC and looking towards the tournament?
Well, that's a tough question because it's still with still a lot of games to be played yet. Um, I don't know. I think I want to say you're seeing it in a sense of I could see Mizzou second or third. It's hard for me to put them in first in the conference only because Auburn has to lose a game in conference, two of them.
Yeah.
But I could see him in the top four easily, finishing out this conference, making a play in the SEC tournament. And I mean, if they're going to have a shot to win any SEC accolades, they would have to do it in the tournament, in my opinion. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
but I could see them working themselves all the way up to like a 4 seed or something for the NCAA tournament if they keep winning the way they are.
Yeah, the updated Ken Palm has them at 23. We'll see what the NET rankings have them at. I think they were about 23 going in, so they should be well inside the top 20 for the NET rankings when that gets updated. Yeah, I think regular season, the ceiling for this team is second in the SEC behind Auburn.
Right.
And I tell you what, this team is capable of winning the SEC tournament, no doubt. Not easy, but certainly capable. And
Well,
yeah, this is a team that nobody will be happy to see in their regional come tournament time.
and there's one
That
more
is a
thing.
tough draw.
There's one more thing I'd like to mention is we've heard a lot about Jacob Cruz and how he's an outside shooter. He's, I mean, it's well documented that he's been struggling this year when he's on the court offensively. However, he's been getting more minutes lately, I've noticed. And it came through today. He hit two or three big threes,
Yeah, he had three threes.
three threes. And if he starts getting going, it also takes pressure off Grill because right now everyone's going to be targeting Grill. But if he starts hitting those threes, now you have two along with Bates who can drop one every once in a while too. And
Well, even someone like a Trent Pierce is
yeah,
capable.
yeah, it's like you add another 3 point shooter on the outside into the mix. Who do you guard? And then if you
Yeah,
try push him off the
we haven't
three
even talked about
line,
Tony Perkins can hit a couple.
yeah. And then if you try push him off the three like Texas did, uh, then you can go inside because they're spinning everybody on the outside. You can throw Mitchell, Pierce, and Gray underneath and let them go to
Yeah.
town. So you as these guys continue to improve this season, they're just getting more and more tournament ready. Quite honestly, it's going to be a fun sprint to the finish. So I'm excited, and I
Yeah,
know
Dan,
Mizzou.
that's it. Good.
I was going to say I know Mizzou fans are too because they're on what 6 sellouts now.
Yep.
I know they
It's gonna be
announced.
fun the rest of the way,
Yeah,
guys.
and if you haven't had tickets, go out and get some. I know a lot of the weekend games are sold out already. So like pack the place because it's a lot of fun basketball we're watching right now. We haven't seen this in a while. Anyway, as the season progresses, we'll keep you guys updated and hopefully we see a couple Auburn losses to make things real interesting. But
Yeah.
as always, we'll keep you updated here at Under the Arc Sports, all things Mizzou.